Hey drivers, welcome to week 41 of Six Figure Trucking, where we follow the midlife trucker, that's me, Tom Bell, as I work toward that six-figure goal as a company driver. And this week, this one was a statement, $3,602. My best week of 2025. The kind of paycheck that makes you stop, take a sip of coffee, and think, yes, I'm doing this right now. I don't believe in luck, not in trucking, not in business, not in life. Luck doesn't get you $3,600 weeks. Management does. And trucking, at its core, is a management job. We manage freight, we manage time, we manage shippers, receivers, dispatchers, 5 different clocks, and most importantly, we manage ourselves. You can't control traffic, weather, or the business hours of the customers, but you can control how you plan your day, how you communicate, and how you adapt. That's what separates the professionals from the pack. This week was a great example of that. Every piece fell into place because the planning was there. I planned meticulously and worked the plan. On the long-haul parts, I ran a lot of splits and worked the stops to best fit the customer's hours while still avoiding the worst traffic times. You can't fake that. You earn it by managing the details. We're in week 41, and I've just crossed $93,000 gross for the year. If you told me 5 years ago that I'd be making this kind of money as a company driver, legally, consistently, and enjoying it, I might have raised an eyebrow. But here we are. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Tom Bell, the midlife trucker, a former executive who traded the necktie for a fifth wheel back in 2019. I used to manage people and projects in a boardroom. Now I manage miles, freight, and my own time clock. And honestly, it's a much better conference room view. Since November 2020, I've been running for Cheeseman, a company that believes in keeping drivers moving, not marooned at docks. No games, no bait and switch, just honest miles and reliable pay. That's rare in this industry, and it's why I stay. Now back to this monster week. $3,602 didn't happen by accident. It came from managing my time like a business. I hit my stops early, kept the wheels turning, and avoided unnecessary downtime. That's the secret sauce, discipline and communication. When people say trucking is all about driving, I laugh a little. Driving's the easy part. Just about anyone can point a truck straight down Interstate 40 while listening to a great audiobook or podcast. The real challenge is managing everything else. Your hours of service clock, the dispatcher's expectations, your fuel stops, your sleep, your patience, your temper, and your attitude. That's what makes or breaks you. And when you manage all that well, you get weeks like this one. Now I know someone's going to comment, man, you must have had some good loads. Well, sure, but here's the thing. Good loads follow good drivers. If you consistently communicate, deliver on time, and run efficiently, the dispatchers will ask you to take that extra load or make that extra pickup. That's not luck. That's reputation management. That's really what six-figure trucking is about. It's not about flexing one good week. It's about showing how a consistent, professional approach leads to long-term success. Every week, I break down the numbers, pay, miles, home time, and show you how this stacks up to a so-called normal job. And this week, let's just say if you're working a 40-hour desk job, this might sting a little. While most people are stuck in meetings about meetings, I'm rolling across America, watching sunrises in Ohio and sunsets in Texas, and getting paid for every mile. Or as I like to say, I'm a paid tourist with a 30-minute break policy. So yes, week 41 was everything a driver hopes for. But more importantly, it's proof that good management leads to good money. Plan your day, respect your clocks, and control what you can control. All right, let's dive into the details. I'll show you where the money came from, how the hours broke down, and how it compares to the good old 9 to 5. Then stick around for final thoughts, because we're about to talk about when the midlife trucker officially hits 6 figures for the year. First, we'll talk about my logs for the week. I was paid for 5,009 dispatched miles. I had 2,926 logged miles. The day in orange, I was on paid 34-hour reset. The day in green, I was on home time. Let's look at my unedited pay statement for period 41 of 2025. This includes all trips from September 28th to October 4th. Empty miles paid $448, Securement paid $34. A 34-hour reset paid $100. Loaded miles paid $2,810, and stops paid $180. Total earnings for this week was $3,602. 41 weeks into the year, my gross income is $93,095, and my total miles is 118,072. That averages out to $2,271 per week and 2,888 miles. Estimated out over 52 weeks, my estimated annual is $118,072. Year-to-date numbers as of week 41 of 2025. I've been paid for 118,423 miles, covering 34 states, making 283 stops. 93% of those miles have been loaded, averaging 78.6 cents per mile. Here's the home time that I've taken this payroll year through the 41st week. I have been on home time 22 times so far, totaling 60.3 days. I also have 5 overnight breaks at the house and 18 paid 34-hour resets on the road. I am not paid hourly, but let's calculate like an hourly job. For the week, my gross pay was $3,602 for 58 hours of work. If we break it down into a typical hourly job, it could be 40 regular hours and 18 hours of overtime, resulting in an effective pay rate of $53.50 per hour. For the year, my gross pay so far is $93,095 for 2,379 hours of work. If we break it down into a typical hourly job, it could be 1,605 regular hours and 774 hours of overtime, resulting in an effective pay rate of $33.66 per hour. Taking a look at the if only truck drivers were paid for every hour in the truck calculation page. 41 weeks have gone by so far that totals 6,888 hours. I have been at home 1,446 of those hours. That works out to 5,442 hours from the pre-trip leaving home to the post-trip returning home. My compensation through week 41 is $93,095. That works out to $1,711 per hour away from home. So here we are, week 41. $3,602 for the week, over $93,000 on the year. So yes, 6 figures is officially on the horizon. What week do you think I'll cross the Rubicon? Let's be real, this isn't about chasing one big week. It's about mastering the craft of trucking. It doesn't matter how long you stay out without going home. It isn't about running recaps. Trucking is management, plain and simple. You manage people, time, equipment, and attitude. This applies whether you are a company driver, a lease operator, or an owner. The ones who figure that out early, they're the ones who stay in control and make money year after year. That's why I focus on averages. Anybody can post a screenshot of their best week, but show me your average week, that's where the truth lives. That's where Cheeseman stands out. Steady freight, fair pay, and a company that understands that if they keep their drivers happy, the freight keeps moving. As we roll into the last stretch of 2025, the goal remains the same: manage well, run smart, stay professional, and most importantly, enjoy every day at work. If you've got questions about how to get started or what life at Cheeseman really looks like, my contact info is in the description. Reach out. I'm always happy to talk to good drivers who want to do things the right way. I'm Tom Bell, the Midlife Trucker, and as always, make sure that you're enjoying every day at work.